I just got done with my workout and I'm walking home now. I'm leaving St. Andrews. But while I was working out, I was listening to this song called Moving On. It's by Jonathan McReynolds featuring Mali Music, right? But there's this version where it's Mali Music performing. That's the one I was listening to. And I want you to listen to that song because it's moving on time. It's moving on time. It's letting go of that thing. And that's really what Coming Different was about for me. So many of us think that we can't change. And it's a lie of the enemy. You're changing right now. Regardless of if you know it, regardless of if you know it or not, you're changing right now. Regardless of if you can feel it or not, you're changing right now. Some of us are changing for the better. Some of us are changing for the worse. Nobody's saying that you're going to be perfect. Nobody's saying that you're not going to make mistakes. But it is possible for you to progress. When I first start just talking about coming different and come different, it wasn't about proving it to somebody else, but it was my own fears. It was my own insecurities that kept on telling me that I couldn't change, that I wasn't a new creature, that this transformation that God did on the inside of me is fake. It's not real, Jawanza. You're a fraud. And that's what I was telling myself. Even though I seen my actions were changing, even though I seen how I handled situations differently, I still believed that it was impossible for me to change. And then I just started hearing that, come different, come different, come different, come different. And I knew that it wasn't only about me just talking different anymore. It was also about me coming different with the way I thought about myself. So when I was singing, it's the new me, here the old me is missing. Like, you don't gotta like what you see, but listen, I ain't going back, yo, I gotta come different. I gotta come different. It wasn't necessarily about me talking to somebody else. It's about me telling myself that this is a new chapter. Me telling myself that, listen, that I'm changed, that I'm renewed, that I'm new. Hey. What up? That I'm new, that I'm different, that I'm not going back to my old ways. It was me telling me that, you know? Just because you messed up doesn't mean you're disqualified. Doesn't mean you can't run again. Doesn't mean you can't do this thing. The word even talks about a righteous man may fall 7 times and get back up. Like, get up. Just because you fall don't mean you ain't gonna get up. Doesn't mean that God has left you or forsake you or you're not gonna continue this race and finish out the race. That's what the enemy wants you to believe. The enemy wants you to believe, friend, you messed up so much. You messed up so much that you can't possibly do what God has called you to do. And that's a lie of the enemy. So when I heard that song today, I'm moving on. I just I had to think about it. Like, Jawanza, pack up your stuff. Move on. Move on from those thoughts. Move on from those insecurities. Move on from those habits. Today is the day where I walk away. Today is the day where I walk away from a lot of stuff and come different. And come different. Today is the day where I walk away from a lot of stuff and come different. And I'm just inviting you to do the same. The moving trucks, you hear them? Do you hear the moving trucks, friend? Do you hear the moving trucks, friend? What you packing? Where you going? Where you going? Love you.